Siebels and Max Collins from the band Eve Six. And they were Bernie supporters and they're progressives. So we're going to do kind of a different kind of show tonight, hopefully to make people smile since we're all really fucking sad right now. So we need something to cheer us up, and their music always makes me happy. So thanks, guys, so much for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So what's your reaction 2 days ago? Like how are you guys feeling with Bernie dropping?
I mean, it's a super bummer. I think that it was kind of coming, but I think that I hope that he would at least have stayed into the very end. I understand why he didn't, but it's definitely a bummer.
Absolutely. How about you, Max?
Yeah, it's really sad, and and the candidate that we're left with is just so it's just so appalling. It's just surreal, you know. Um, so yeah, I mean, John is like more connected and active than I am. So I always go to him to you know hopefully get little bits of good news just about the campaign and yeah, I mean he was like reservedly hopeful. Just speaking for John here, kind of until the bitter end, and yeah, obviously now it is what it is.
You guys are lucky because you're in California, so you got to vote for him. I'm in Pennsylvania, so I'm voting for his ass anyway. I wrote him in 2016. I'm gonna do it again, so be it. But I mean, it's like, why couldn't, like, I went to Iowa for 5 weeks to volunteer. Like, I've given my life to this campaign, and I'm like, really, Bernie, you can't wait till we've all voted. I deserve that shit. So it's been tough. John, I know you did a lot of calls and stuff too. Is this the first campaign you've ever been active with?
Yeah, it is. And yeah, I did a bunch of phone banking. I did a bunch of canvassing all over LA. I was mostly part of the Koreatown canvas. So a lot of the phone banking I did actually was phone banking for the canvas to try to get people out. And then I did the Bernie Dialer as well. But yeah, this is the first time I've ever really gotten active, and been a part of a ground game. So for me, I think that it's just the first step in moving more, even more so into activism and being involved in these kinds of things. So
absolutely,
I think that one of the best things to come out of the campaign is that it really mobilized a lot of people, and it brought a lot of this sort of grassroots organizing and activism and ideas about socialism and social democracy and all these different things. I think it really brought it to the masses, and so I'm not in a place where I'm like, well, now I've got to go vote for Joe Biden. I'm like, fuck this, where are the socialist candidates, and how can I shift my support? Since early I've been following Shahid Buttar, who's trying to primary Nancy Pelosi. So I'm going to try to do as much as I can for that, and to me, it's gotten me active, and so as bummed out as I am, I also look at it as sort of this whole new sort of beginning for me personally. So
Yeah, right on. I had Shahid on here. Actually, I did a debate with all three of the people running against Pelosi.
Uh-huh.
It was over 2 hours. That was interesting. I was
Yeah.
kind of sure he was going to win, but uh,
Yeah.
so that's awesome that you're staying active. My fear is that they're talking about, Biden said things like, I'm the VP I pick has to step up right away, and that scares me because then he would, of course, drop, and the VP becomes president, and then Pelosi becomes VP. That would fucking suck. So
Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of a nightmare scenario, no matter how you look at it. Now they're talking about replacing him with Cuomo, which is obviously awful, and no one he's talking about for vice president it would be anywhere close to what I align with, anyways. And so I mean, the whole thing is just an utter shit show. And so to me, I'm like, all right, well, I've got to look at like that, sideshow is its own thing now, and they can go figure out how to, get these people to go out and canvass and phone bank on their own, because I'm not going to do it, and I can
mhm.
put my attention on doing stuff locally around Los Angeles, or helping other other progressive candidates. And I don't really know
Yeah.
what to say about it besides I want no part of it.
I'm with you there. Um, so I digress a bit, but Max, how are you handling all of the COVID and being kind of? I mean, you guys are used to being on tour and things like that. How are you dealing with becoming an agoraphobic through no choice of your own?
Yeah. I think in my finer moments, I'm kind of trying to just sort of frame it as, forced, if not relaxation, because I do have a 6-year-old and 3-year-old daughters. So when they're with me, it's you know it's constant, like homeschooling and all of that, and we don't have parks and playgrounds at our disposal. So just trying to keep them occupied and keep them from melting down. But yeah, so I think probably like everyone, I sort of have moments where it all feels really oppressive, and just the uncertainty of this thing, and not not being able to trust a lot of the information that you hear, can all be a little overwhelming. But at the same time, I'm tabling all of that anxiety and financial insecurity. Obviously, a band like ours is at this stage of the game, a working class band. A good amount of our income comes from touring, and but tabling all that stuff, like being able to have this time at home, like this time with my kids, even when it's challenging, is there is something about that is lovely. And so I'm trying to do those sort of I guess at times it feels like mental gymnastics, but I do think there's truth in that too.
Absolutely. John, how about yourself? What's keeping you busy?
Man, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely like, it's definitely starting to feel like Groundhog Day. It's weird how like days almost weirdly go fast. It's like all of a sudden I'll be like, how is it 3:30 already?
That's so weird.
Yeah.
So
and so it's just, I feel like it's just sort of this, strange. I don't, it's hard to know what day it is. I mean, it's just very strange. But it's like I've been taking the time to just work on some other, sort of projects, and, read stuff and study stuff, and, like, I'm just trying to use the time to, like, you know, uh, be curious and learn about things that I wouldn't have the time to spend, you know, otherwise. And yeah,
Yeah, right on. That's awesome.
I'm fostering a dog. His name is Ziggy, and he's
Oh.
a cute little pit bull. His owner, she right at the beginning of this lost her job and had to move out of her apartment. So since I'm like, well, I'm going to be home for the next couple months, so he's staying with me. So we've been taking walks, and it's nice to have another beating heart around, and so that's about it, really.
That's awesome. And Max, I know something you've been working on is well, not quite sure what the relation is, but there's a dude who kind of looks like your doppelganger named Chevy Mustang.
That's not Max.
Yeah, I have the misfortune of looking an awful lot like this guy that I think I could like most charitably refer to as like a weird asshole who has these delusions of grandeur, and his name's Chevy Mustang. And yeah, we look a lot alike. So there's been some confusion about that. He fancies himself like a spiritual teacher and guru, refers to himself as the #1 singer in Los Angeles. And yeah, I don't know. I try not to give him the attention that he wants, but frankly, it's been difficult too because he's just causing such a stir.
I mean, is he around that he could play something, or?
His backup DJs aren't here at the moment. Bjorn Duck and Danny Nonsense are both quarantined elsewhere, which I think for Chevy's grateful for that because their relationship is just rife with conflict, and like they're engaged in these like legal battles and stuff. But Chevy Mustang does have a new single that's out called "Because I Want to." He does have a radio show and podcast debuting on Tuesday on Adobe Radio, and there's going to be, what I hear at least, a lot of music coming out in the coming weeks by Chevy Mustang. Oh, and his socials, I should say, while we're at it, let's just be thorough. This brings me very little pleasure to give him this kind of advertisement on a platform like yours, but it's at the Chevy Mustang if anyone finds themselves curious about this character. I caution you not to look him up or follow him, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I dig him. I mean, I'm not saying he's as cool as you guys, but I dig him. He makes me bop. He's got a few songs that are, pretty hot jams. So yeah, I definitely suggest following him. But you guys, you're supposed to go on tour. I was supposed to see you guys May 10th outside of Pittsburgh. So are you guys rescheduling for July?
Yeah, we're right now everything is being rescheduled for July. I mean, no one knows where this is all going. So, even if people are kind of going back to work, are they going to, are events going to be happening by July? I don't know. So it's right now it's all being rescheduled for July, and we just have to kind of wait and see. That's about all we know. It's like we obviously want to get back out there. It's an anniversary tour, so it's going to be weird to do that next year or something like that. If that happens, I will still do it, but obviously at the same time, we want to be safe, and if it's not safe for people to come out, we obviously don't want to put anyone.
Mm-hmm. Well, Max, I mean, I already told John, so I'm just going to warn you. I'm gonna take a 7-hour bus to come see you outside of Pittsburgh because it's been too fucking long. And plus, now I feel like we have that connection because you guys are doing me the honor of coming on my show. So, Max, I don't know if you remember this. You probably don't because you meet like a bajillion people. But for some reason, you always dedicated "Superhero Girl" to me. And I don't know why, but for some reason you always did. But I love that song, so it's all good.
Yeah.
So
Well, no, you like, yeah, like John and I both remember you. Like you would come to the Allentown venue, right?
to what?
The Allentown venue.
Oh yeah, Crocodile Rock. Yeah,
Yeah.
No, we
I
totally
can't
remember.
believe that.
And yeah,
That's crazy.
I try to pick the the woman with the most kind of punk aesthetic in the first couple rows to dedicate that song to. It just feels right, so.
Well, I will take that as a compliment.
It is.
What are you guys listening to now? What are you guys working on anything new?
We are actually. We've right, I guess, sort of leading up to all this this craziness. We recorded 5 songs. So basically, we have a new EP that's sort of in the wings. We're doing a few little touch ups on it and stuff like that. But but we kind of we decided that we wanted to make a record that was like the record we would have made had we not, had there not been major labels and A&R guys and all of that involved in the early days. So it's kind of a real like roots, for us roots kind of punk. Just real stripped down guitar, bass, drums, no funny stuff, just raw and fun, and so I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be,
Yeah, we love it. It might be kind of polarizing to our fan base, but at this stage of the game, it's like we're gonna do what we want to do, and and that's that.
I mean, you guys were like 18 when you started because we're the same age. I couldn't believe it. And you guys are still kicking ass like 20 years later, over 20 years. And your music still resonates with so many of us. And I told John, like, it's helped me through some really shit times. So it's so great to, to have that energy and to see how far you guys have progressed, but you still haven't lost what got you where you are. What is each of your favorite songs to play?
There's a song called "Curtain" from the 4th Eve 6 record that came out on Fearless. Not a lot of people, compared to our first 3 major label records, it was a much smaller release, but and I think John and I both feel the same way about that record too. Like, we don't love the way it sounds and a lot of some of the aspects of it, but "Curtain" is one of my favorites. I know it's one of John's favorites too. So we usually include that one in the set. And yeah, I mean, I guess I'm sort of partial to like the more up tempo, kind of dumber songs are sort of my favorites. And I think that's this new EP is kind of that. But yeah, Amphetamines is always really fun. How Much Longer? What else? Open Road Song we always play. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about you, John?
I'm with him on that. I don't know that I have a much different answer. I think Curtain live, especially, it's one of my favorite songs yet from my least favorite album. But so it's sort of a but But yeah, same thing. I think like in the last couple of years, like kind of going along even with our ethos of the way we made the new record. I mean, we've really kind of gone back to just very, you know, 3 guys on stage, guitar, bass, drums, no bells and whistles and computers and all this stuff. Like, so I think the songs that translate the best of that are a lot of the ones Max is talking about, where it's, you know, the kind of high energy, you know, more fun sort of punk leaning songs. You know?
It's funny because like I know all of your songs by heart, of course, everything like that, but for some reason I really love your acoustic live When I Touch Myself. I always find myself like I just love the way you guys do that so much. But lately I've had Promise in my head 24/7 when I go to bed, when I wake up. It's just ingrained in my mind. But do you guys want to play a few for us?
Yeah, we'll play a couple. Shoot, I know you had requested I think twice, so we were kind of planning on that.
Ooh, yeah.
But you know, we're flexible.
We're flexible. Do you want to hear Promise? What would you rather hear?
Whatever you guys want to do. I like them all.
Should we Promise? Do you remember it? Let's do Think Twice.
Yeah.
Probably
all right.
safer bet.
Yeah. All right.
Said and done and dead. Does he love you the way I do? Breathing in right now. Tonight we're fighting. I feel hurt. So physical. Think twice till you touch my girl. Come around when you feel the burn. Think twice till you touch my girl. Think twice when you touch my girl. Come around and you feel the burn. Think twice when you touch my girl. She's ready to love. She burns me down. I can't let go. I can't get out. I said enough right now. I can't let go. I can't get out. Until the day you finally see I've been here waiting patiently, crossing my fingers and my teeth, lying on my shoulder, begging please. Think twice when you touch my girl. Come around and let you feel the burn. Think twice when you touch my girl. Come around, think twice when you touch my girl. Come around and let you feel the burn. Think twice when you touch my girl. Come around, she's ready to love. She burns me down. I can't let go. I can't get out. I said enough right now. I can't let go. I can't get out. What is it really I'm asking. You're gone, I'm wasted. I showed up and he was there. I tried my best to run from there. Took the stairs, but couldn't step up the street. And as we speak,
People in the comments are digging it.
All right.
And yes, my shirt has dinosaurs, you guys. I see like 8 people asking if my shirt has dinosaurs.
What is it?
Yeah. Dinosaurs.
Oh, dinosaurs.
Love that song. Everyone's saying "Feel the Burn." So
Yeah.
you were before your time.
Yeah.
That was great, guys. Do you want to do another one?
Yeah, sure. Should we give the people what they want?
Of course, there are some people who like Inside Out.
Yeah.
Chris said that he wants to rendezvous, then I'm through with you, and he's gonna throw his Tinder in a blender. So I think he's had some bad sexual experiences,
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
I'm not on Tinder in a blender. Yeah, yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, this song's for you, Chris. Swallow my pride, chicken ride, the laughter of me and the inside mind. Swallow my doubt, feel it inside the outside, nothing but nothing. I wanna put my Tinder in a blender, wanna spin around, do a beautiful brilliant rendezvous. Talk like the cold soul. I see our time is got to be dead. The tick-tock of the clock is painful. All saying I'm not in trouble. I want to send it off the wall. A few words and bits of phrases mix it like ginger ale. My stomach turned the night I was on my pride, I was going right to the back to the me. He's not right, so my girl, inside out, but people think they're nothing. I'm on my Tinder, hard in a blender, watch us swing around to the other. So girl, it's where my mind stays, but it's not my state of mind. I'm just an ugly dad. Or am I overdrawn me? Pull it up and just pretend. You make it as the moment's in your I was on my body, I was on the line. The back people over me, inside so much up to tell you inside out, but the people think they're nothing. I want my time, body and bend down, I want to spin around. Keep me real. Make you lie when your eyes close. When you get close, down into the window. I long, run, and keep you doing the make me lie when your eyes close. Down into the window. Down into the right, down into the right. Back to the inside. Inside out,
Yay. So my friend that I did the video with, Corn Pop was a bad dude. She would really like to sing that, but you know,
That's
Yeah. And Hornbach was a really bad dude. You speak the
bad
truth
dude,
too. I mean, it's a good song and it's the truth.
wow.
You know,
Reports and the truth.
Thank you guys so much. So you guys who are all giving them props, definitely follow them on Twitter, on YouTube, all of their records, everything. I have them all. This is how much I've listened to them. Remember how they had that store, The Wall?
yeah.
And they would put the stickers on. I've already exchanged a lot of them because I just wear them out. Because I'm old school and I still use CDs.
Wow.
I shouldn't admit that, but it's nostalgia.
Yeah.
So you guys also watch out for their tour coming up. They are amazing live. And you guys will be playing with Alien Ant Farm, right?
Yeah, that was the original tour, and now it's all up in the air because depending on when this happens and their schedule, that may or may not still be happening. We have definitely the opener is a band called Potty Mouth.
They're great.
They're really awesome. They are also Burning supporters. I went over and phone banked with Ali from Potty Mouth on Super Tuesday. So they're really awesome. Hopefully Alien Ant Farm will be able to do it. If not, it'll be someone else, but we'll see how it goes.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Is there anything you'd like to share before we cut it?
I should say I'm in another band called Fitness that dropped an EP today called Opera Cadaver that's on all the streaming places. And just please, whatever you do, don't follow at the Chevy Mustang on Instagram or Twitter. It's the last thing that he or anyone else needs.
True. I see. The good thing about Chevy Mustang is I have an alter ego named Svetlana Bubush, and she is from Russia. And sometimes she come here to interview bands. And she liked the bands that always talk about coitus. So she likes you.
The thing about Chevy Mustang is you might think that he's German, but he's actually from Fresno.
Right.
I know. I almost peed my pants when you said that. True story.
Born and raised in Fresno. He goes into his bio on Tuesday on his radio show.
You guys are the best. Thank you guys so much again for coming. I just adore you to pieces, and I can't wait to see you guys again.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's so awesome to connect this far down the road in a totally different way. It's really awesome. I was following you on Twitter before I even realized that we had any sort of connection. So it's super awesome.
That is very humbling and amazing. So thank you again so much. Much love. Stay safe.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for watching, guys.